Today's daf is daf Tesva. We are going to begin from my time with Tanna Kama. The Gemara now clarifies an additional detail with regard to this machlikas. My time, the Tanna Kama, what's the reason for the Tanna Kama who says that one does not grant a severance gift to the person who sells himself, to the that sells himself? So the Gemara answers, me, the Rachman Agam Machru Bezdin. The Torah excludes, with regards to somebody who Bezdin sold, it says you shall give a severance gift to him, which is mashra loy to him, means the person who's sold by the Bezdin, not the somebody who sells himself. And what does Rabbi Lazar learn from this pasuk? He learns it out from the following: loy to him means that one grants a hanaka only to a slave himself, and not to the yarshim. Yarshav Amailei. Why not a gift to the Yarshim? So the Gemara says, Sachar Karachmana, Torah says that, it says about the Evidivri, a hired worker. So, Mas Sachar Pulasid the Yarshav, just as payment for the labor of a hired worker is given to this Yarshim when he dies, Afu Pulasid the Yarshav, so too, the severance gift for his labor should be given to the Yarshim when he dies. Ella, rather, the pasuk is teaching me loy to him, but lay the balchaver, but not to the slave's creditor. One to whom the slave owes money may not collect the slave's severance gift as a payment for the chayv. Now, the Gemara asks, why is it necessary to emphasize that a creditor has no rights to the hanukah, to the severance gift? And it's really on Ba'alma the the fact that we generally hold it according to the opinion of Rav Nosson. Now, famous thing, Rav Nosson, from where do we know that in the case of a person who lends 100 dinars to another, and the other lends a similar sum to yet another, and the third person, from where is it rather the Bezdin appropriates the money for this one, the third person gives it to that one? So the pasuk says, and he shall give it to him whom he has wronged. But it says mashma that the loan should be repaid to the creditor to whom the money is ultimately owed. So therefore, also la puke. The turn to him comes to exclude this possibility that I'm not giving gift to the slave and not to the creditor, given to the Eved and not to the creditor. And how does the other Tana, the first Tana Kama, how does he respond? So my answer is, we generally do not hold in accordance with the opinion of Rav Nosson. Now, the Gemara says, my time with the Tana Kama, what's the reason why? According to the Tana Kama, if a person sells his master, does not provide him with his Shifcha Kananis, so the answer is me, the Rachmana got Machru Bezdin, the Torah excludes, in regards to Machru Bezdin, I'm not done, if you can lay Isha, if his master gives him a wife, Allah will the marry Chasme, to him, but not to the person who sells himself. Beidach, and I will tell you, Lay Balkarchi. Lay means against this one. Beidach, and from where does the other one, first time Kama, derived that a slave must remain with his maid servants against his will? So it says, he derives it from the pasuk for double of the hire of a hired worker. For a double of the hire of hired worker as he served you. Which is mashma, hired worker works only during the day. Evidivri works both days, both day and by night. Emra explains. Does it enter your mind Evidivri only works by day and by night? Torah already says, with you food and with you drink, which is mashma that all the slaves' needs must be fulfilled, and their living conditions must be equal to those of the master himself. Like the pasuk says, "Kitev le'imach," with you food and with you drink. Imcha b'mayachel, imcha b'mishta. He has to drink with you, eat with you. From here we learn that his master has to provide him with a shifcha kananis against his will to produce children of the master. This is the service he performs at night. Beidach, and the other Lazar would say that there's no proof. Why? Because if you're living up from there, he would say this applies only with his consent. Aval bakor chemolate. But with regards to the master forcing him to live with a macer against his will, I would say no, he cannot do so. Therefore, the pasuk says that the master can even provide him with a shivka kananis against his will. Now, according to what we just explained, both Rabbi Elazar and the Tanna Kama accept this Gzer Shava of Sachar. My Tana, the man Tana, the Layal of Sachar. So who's the Tana that does not learn out Sachar? Hai Tana, who, where it says is a Tana. Tana, you learn the rise of a Shava Mishpach, it says that he shall return to his family. Rabbi Elazar Bar Yanka, Mekos of Adav, what are we talking about here? Even Mechatzbei. If we're talking about somebody who's Mechatzbei, Omar already says that. Ibn Nirtza, if it's speaking about a pierced slave, Akvar Omar. Rather, the passage is speaking about somebody who sold by the court 2 or 3 years before Yevel, which the Yevel releases him from slavery. Now, if you would enter that, Rabbi Elazar learns the pasuk, learns Sachar. So, what do I need it for? Sachar. Then derive that a man sold by the Beis Din is released by Yevel from a Sachar. From the case of the person who sold them, already it's called. So he says, yellow Sachar. Really, he does do Sachar. And yet, the Elazar needs to have the Sachar. Why is so that? I'm going to make ask me who. Over the surah, I would think that somebody who sells himself who did not commit the Isser is free at the Yevel. Machru Bezin, which he did make a transgression. He was sold because he was unable to pay the value of his theft. I would say that we do penalize him, and therefore he should not be freed in Yevel. And therefore it teaches us that he does. Now, Amar Mar learned in a Brisa, Ibn Nirtza, if it's speaking about a pierced slave, Akvar Amar, we already said it. So Mar says, what's the pasuk that teaches that a Nirtza is released by Yevel? Tanya learned in a Brisa, Shoftim, Ishalach Luzasiv, Ishal Mishpachte. There says that you shall return each man to his land, each man to his family. But what is the pasuk speaking of? Even if it's speaking of somebody who sold himself, Harikvar, the pasuk says it. Even Machru Beis Din is speaking of somebody who sold by the Beis Din, Harikvar Amr, there already says it. Rather, they're speaking about a slave who pierced 2 or 3 years before the Yevel. Shayevel might see that the Yevel releases it. Ask, what is my mashra? What's the mashra? Amarava Barshila, Amarkula, but says Ish, this is a man. What manner applies to a man does not apply to a woman. So you say, this is piercing a Abdivri with a Nirtza. Mar says, and it's necessary for the Torah to write, the Torah had to write to a person sold by the Beis Din that he leaves by Yevel, and also the Torah had to write with regards to somebody who's if the Torah only says Machru Beis Din Mishum B'lim Mata his money, I would say that the Yevel releases him because his time has not yet come free. I will answer with regards to Nirtza the Mata Zimna, which the time did come. I would say that he gets penalized. If the Torah only teaches him Nirtza Mishum Davalei Shesh, I would say because he has served 6 years. But in regards to somebody who was sold by the Beis Din, he didn't serve for 6 years, we would say that one should not be freed by Yevel. Therefore, the Torah needs to tell me the halacha in both cases. Now, it's necessary for the Torah to write with regards to Yevel shall return each man. It's necessary in regards to write forever, which is interpreted as referring to the year of Yevel. If the Torah would only say mamash, I would say it means forever mamash. Because Rachman v'shaftim, therefore the Torah writes, and you shall return. Because of Rachman v'shaftim, and if the Torah would only write, and you shall return, I would say, I would say that this statement applies where he did not serve 6 years after being pierced. Now, I would say that in the place where he did work for 6 years, so his final stage after his pierce should not be stricter than his initial stage when he first was sold. First is his initial stage, which he served 6 years. I'll say if also the end should be 6. Therefore, the Torah says which means forever until Yevel. Ella, where it says Man Tana de Yellow Sachar. Who's the Tana does not derive Sachar? The answer is Rebbe. This is Rebbe the Tanya of the Abraisa, the Imla Yigol Be'ela, and if he's not redeemed by any of these, Rebbe Emir Be'ela who Yigol Be'enigol B'Sheish. Rebbe Yehuda says that he can be redeemed only through these, and he's not redeemed after 6 years. Now, I would say, and it would make sense. Now, if one cannot be redeemed with these relatives, a Eved Ivri who was sold by a Yid cannot be redeemed by his relatives, nevertheless, he's redeemed after 6 years. It's not logical to say that he's redeemed by Shish. That just says Be'ela Nigel B'Shish. Now, and if you would enter that, we do learn how Sachar Sachar, my Kamar, my Mishin Nigel Be'ela. Why does it say? Why are you saying that if one cannot be redeemed with these? Let's learn it now from Sachar Sachar. The fact that he does not accept his claim indicates that Rabbi Nasi rejects the Sachar Sachar. So Rav Nachman and Bar Yisrael Elam Yelafil Sachar. No, really, he does learn out Sachar Sachar. And it's different over because the pasuk says he go leno. There it says he may redeem him. Now, with regards to the machlekes itself, the Gemara requires a man tana the polet alei the Rebbe, and who is the tana disagrees with Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Our answer is basically the time that the rest of the eagle be'ela. It says, and he is not redeemed with any of these. Basically, Emir be'ela.
Go up, please.
Met. A man Tana the Poleg Aled the Rebbe, and who's the Tana who disagrees to the Yehuda Nasi? Basically, the Rebbe Kiva. The Tana the Eagle Ba'ela, basically the Emir Ba'ela L'Shifur, Bashar called him L'Shibud. He says that the expression by any of these indicates that the redemption by one relative is to freedom. One becomes an entirely free man. But if a slave is redeemed by anyone else who pays the guy, is slavery. In other words, the redeemed slave becomes Shubinat to his redeemer until he pays the cost of the redemption through his work. Kiva says, Ba'ela, by these, Mushakal and Lushichuri. Anyone else by his redeemer. But no, so the Gemara says, my time to Rabbi Lili. What's the reason of Rabbi Lili? The pasuk says, "Im la'igo be'ela." If he's not redeemed by any of these, Eila ba'acher. But if he's redeemed by other, then we got some Mishnah Yevel, and he should go out to Yevel. Rabbi Kiva says, "Im la'igo." Rabbi Kiva says, if he's not redeemed, then Eila. Im la'igo Eila ba'ela. So he says, if he's not redeemed, none of the other matter, but only by any of these, then he should go out to Yevel. That's the Mishnah Yevel. Rabbi Yisrael Lili. Tell you, Eila Be'ela Ksiv is written only by any of these. Rather, Ela B'hai Kruk if they get. Rather, they disagree with regards to the pasuk. A Dede Ben Dede Yigolam. The pasuk says either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him. Zugal Askrev. This is redemption for our relatives. A Sigi Yode. Or if he becomes rich, Zugal Asasmi. This is a redemption by himself. Medigal Zugal Asachir. And he's redeemed. This is a redemption by other people. Basically, it says Mikra Nidrish Lafanov. A pasuk is interpreted homiletically based on the juxtaposition of the pasuk immediately preceding it. Sheti gulas krev gulas atzmei. Therefore, one should cast. In other words, compare the case of the redemption performed by relatives to the case of redemption performed by himself. Gulas atzmei l'shichur. Just as the redemption performed by himself leads to complete freedom, gulas krev l'shichur. So too the redemption performed by relatives leads to freedom. Kiva says Mikra Nidrish Lacharev. Rabbi Kiva maintains that the pasuk is interpreted after it. Or Rabbi Kiva says the Lacharev should die gulas acherim gulas atzmei. Magulas atzmei l'shichur af gulas acherim l'shichur. Just as redemption performed by himself is to freedom, so too the redemption performed by others is to freedom. Whereas if he was redeemed by his relatives, he becomes a slave to them. Or asks Yach yourself Be'ela lamali. So I didn't have Be'ela. Or answers and says Ila Be'ela la haminer kra nidrish ben lafanam ben lacharev. If I didn't have by any of these, I would say that the pasuk is interpreted preceding it as well and after it to the freedom. So I ask Yachi how the so the question comes back. A little bit fair for the Gidi. Rather, they're arguing in regards to the reason. In other words, machlekes as a matter of logic does not concern actual regard to this in the pasuk. Rabbi S Greenwald says Mistavra l'sachem l'shibud. That it stands to reason that a redemption performed by others is a slavery. The Amr says Shifur, if you say it's for freedom, have a mean money, they percolate, then they were free and will not redeem it. If a slave is required to serve them, they were in criminal financial loss, they will redeem him. Kiva says Mistabra Gulas Kred Mishibut, stands to reason that the redemption performed by relatives is to slavery. The Amr says Shifur, if you say it's to freedom, Each and every day will go and sell himself, relying on his friend relatives to free him. Chum say that the shifror every case when he is free is to free him. Who is the Chacham? Rebbe. This is Rebbe. Which he learns the Be'ela Dashachina, and he's interpreted the proceeding well before and after. In other words, the Evet Ivri of a guy is free regardless of whether he's a Dim Bar Elf or not. But Rebbe, and in regards to Rebbe, this indicates that we're talking about a guy who's under your authority, one who's subject to the Yiddish rule. Or perhaps you'll say that the pasuk is referring to a guy who's not under the authority. So Amris, you say, but what can he be done to compel him to obey the Torah's commandment? Rather, we must say the pasuk is speaking about a guy other than, speaking of nothing other than a guy who's under your authority.